Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of camera tracking tutorial. Here we're gonna talk about how to set the camera from out of this points. So if you see the 3D view here, you can see a lot of points are there. Okay, so the first thing we need to do that is we need to set the origin of your camera and scene. Okay, so what we can do, we need to find out the point or the ground level of your video. So it depends upon where you want to put your CG things. Okay, or where do you want to place card, or you want to change something. Okay, for example, I want to change this part here. So what I'll do, I'll just select some of these points and we can create card. But this cannot be your ground level of your video, right? So your ground level can be this one because it is on the ground, or you can also use the table as a ground level as well. That's really up to you. And if I just scrap through it, let's see. Okay, so it should be input. So that's how it will only show the actual frame range. Okay, so if I see, this is what I am actually getting as a ground plane. So yes, you can use it, or else you can use this one. So let's see what we should get. Okay, I'll get this one as a ground. Okay, so this is good to go. So let me just get another viewer by pressing Ctrl I, and I'm going to view this one, and I'll just take this and put it by side here. Okay, and for the view 1, I'll press tab and it will only show me the 3D view of Nuke. And by the way, press Shift S for preference settings, and by default you can see this is a Nuke navigation system. You will get that as a Nuke navigation system, which is a little awkward for me. So it's basically, if you press Alt and left click, so you can pan it. If you press Alt and right click, you can orient the scene, or you can just press middle mouse button for panning. So this is a little odd for me. Or you can also go for like scroll to zoom in, zoom out. Okay, like this. So this is a little odd. So what I did was I changed that navigation system to Maya, and I put OK. Okay, so right now you can go for like Alt and left click is basically for orientation, and Alt and right click is for zoom in, zoom out, and even you can also go for like that middle mouse button, scroll and scroll down. Okay, so for zoom in, zoom out, and you can also move it by middle mouse button for panning system. So it's a little easy to work with for me, because I am a 3D guy as well, because I use Maya and Max and C4D, so I am very much habituated with these settings. Okay, so it is up to you how you gonna set this up. Fine, so let's see what we got here. So basically, when we set a ground plane, it means I'm gonna set this point. As you can see, it has been selected here as well. That point will be on the ground, not under the ground. Okay, so this is a grid. This grid, it's represent the ground. Okay, so I need to place this point here at the middle and on top of the grid. Okay, so what I can do, why I am selecting this, because it's on the ground, as I can see. Okay, and yes, definitely you can choose another one as well. Okay, so let me just go through it a little bit, if I am getting any good amount of points. So I think this is good. Okay, so I'll just select that and just watch this one here as well. So I'll just say right click, and here we can say ground plane, and there are some settings here as well. So I'll just set this as a origin. Okay, and suddenly you can see, yes, the point is there exact on the middle of this grid, and definitely it is on top of the grid, not under the grid. Okay, fine. Now what I need to do after this, I need to go and check for some settings here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'll just say a scene is definitely, you can go for a lot of things like distortion, point cloud stuff, and whoever is using below 13 of new version, so they won't get, I think this some settings won't be available there as well. So I'm using Nuke 13.2, so that is these nodes or these things are available there as well, but in previous version, I think from the top, and you will get this much of part probably. Okay, so let's just set a scene. Okay, and I'll just create it here, and you can see you just have these three things. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'll just set this viewer to the scene, so you can easily find out the camera and the orientation of that camera. Okay, so this is where you can see. Now after setting the origin, what we need to do, we need to set the camera properly, because you can see it is it is little bit rotated there, that side and all. Okay, so what we have to do, we will select X side or X axis, Y axis and Z axis, and if you see here, so X is towards the right. Okay, so that is plus X. Okay, and this is Y is to the up, so that is YX, and if you go below, that is Y minus, if you go left, that is X minus, and if you go this way from this side to this one, so basically from far away from you. Okay, so that is Z, and this is Z plus, from this to this is Z plus, from this to this is Z minus. Okay, so we need to set that coordinates for the camera. Some of the times we don't do it, and that is okay maybe for sometimes, but it is a better practice to do setup for the camera. Okay, so if I zoom in here, what we can see, so I'll just keep it in between somewhere the frame. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of better points here. So the first thing I'm getting is this much of points and this much of points that I can easily select for X. So I'll just click here. Okay, I'll select a point which is towards this way, and just select a point here as well. So I'll just hold down Shift and click here. Okay, so both are selected, and right click and just say, just a minute, let me just switch back to this normal view to make you understand better. Okay, so I'll just say right click in between anywhere and say set the ground plane as set X. Okay, whenever I do that, you can see the camera is exactly on the middle, and it's properly rotated. Fine. So now what we can do, we will just go and set the Y axis. Okay, so let's see, if you see that these are two which is towards up, and definitely you have a lot of points to coordinate Y as well. Okay, so I would prefer to go with these things here. Okay, so or maybe on a same length, or on a same depth. Okay, so yes, I can select any of these, so I might go with like I don't know, maybe this one here and this one here, so that I can say okay, this will be my Y axis. So I'll just say right click here and ground plane, I'll say set as Y. As you can see, this is tilted a little bit here. Okay, so it's tilt up, and as you can see, it's a little bit up. You can see the little the rotation towards I think X. Okay, so let's set up the Z. You might find out it's a little awkward, maybe a weird one. Maybe it will fix the problem in one shot, but sometimes it gives you a little weird thing. So let's see, let's just go and check what are the points which represents the Z. So this one and like parallelly this one is this side and this side, so you need to select points from this side or this side like that. Or one thing you can do, because it is not parallel, like this is a little down from this side, so I would recommend go with those points which is kind of parallel. Okay, so it could be this and this as well, or it could be this one like this as well. So let's see, let me just hop over to another frame. Okay, yeah, actually you can go for these frames as well, or this frame. Okay, let me just set that with this. Okay, so I'll just click here one, and I might go for this one here. Okay, so let's see. So try to get a point like which is almost in a linear way. So I'll just select both of them, and I'll right click, say set ground plane as Z. Okay, so now you can see it is a little weird one, as I told before. Okay, so that doesn't matter really. What we can do, we can just go back to the camera tracker here. Okay, and we can tweak the scene setup. Okay, so what we're gonna do, the main thing that we might go for is to make these points on a ground plane. Okay, so just make sure that these points are set onto ground, because what I did before, I took a point and set that one as origin. So according to that, this camera and all points are moving, so we need to make it proper in rotation. Okay, so I'll just go back to the rotation and let's check it out how it should be. And one thing, you can see that it's been rotated. It should be like on this axis. It is right now on this axis. Okay, so we can also rotate that way. So I'll just go and say, okay, let's rotate the y axis first. So because what I want to do is to make that camera on a proper side. Okay, so I'll be just doing that, and let's just go for maybe Z. So here is the Z axis, which I'm gonna give some rotation value. Okay, let's go for X axis and put some rotation value as well. And there we go. And yeah, of course it is not been setted with that origin point. So let's say let me just try to achieve that point here. Okay, so I'll be just fast forwarding this process. Okay, so we got our camera. As we can see, it is properly on the ground. Okay, so now what we can do, okay, one more stuff that I forgot to tell you, that it's not only one single frame. You can actually select multiple frames, and you can just select to set to selected, so it will be a ground level for that particular thing. Okay, so and yeah, of course you can see also that the origin is right now it's blacked out. Basically when you select a single point, that is capable to do set on origin, but when you select multiple points, it's actually gathering the area of information of these areas. So definitely it is it's not gonna set on a point, it will set on that area. Okay, so that is why we need to say set as selected. Okay, and in any cases you can easily reset all the setup that you have produced or changes, so you can just go for that. There are a lot of things that you might know or might not. So basically, you can create some geometry on basis of these points. You can go to the survey points, so you can set x, y, z to if you have the survey data, so that you can easily put datas on it. So you can select, okay, and you can go to just say multiple points, so you can just say set points. Okay, so I'll be doing another video for the survey point, but let's just let's not talk about that right now. So it's a point which you surveyed, like you have measured something. It on when you do PF track, you will also get this kind of thing which is called survey data. Okay, and survey data process, or you can say tracking for survey data. With survey data you can track, or you can measure the area and all. So that's the thing. So next is you can just copy both of these and paste for rotation and all things. You do have options for trackers. So basically what it does, for example, if you want to have a 2D tracker out of this 3D tracking, so you can just right click, track, and you can extract the user track. Okay, so I'll be talking about that later on. So let me just set all the things for that. Okay, so for example, right now I got the camera, I have everything. I'm gonna put that point cloud off for now. Okay, so what I can do, maybe I want to have a plane here. So basically I want to project something on it. So what we can do, we can just select multiple points like this, okay, and right click, say create card. Yes, you can do it. Okay, and you can see that the card is there by default. Okay, or else you can just select any of these points. I can just select this middle one. Let's say right click, ground plane, and I'm sorry, create. I'll just say card. So now you can see there are three options available, which is XZ, XY, and the YZ. So basically it's asking for, is it a like this one, like XZ value? As you can see, the Z and X value, this is from the top, and is it a YX value from this side, or is it like ZX or ZY value like this? Okay, so what will be the orientation of that particular camera or the card or the geometry you want to have? Okay, so that's the orientation stuff. So I can just select, and you just just go for a card, and you can change the rotation scale stuff, but you can also go for this one. So for me it's like XY. It seems to like XY. Yes, it is, and as you can see, it's exactly there on that board. And if you just switch on this cloud, so as you can see, it is on that particular area. All right, and I hope I'll be doing another video especially for this camera tracking point cloud, because it is not only for representing the scene, it is also a little more advanced. Okay, so we can also create a lot of things out of this particular point. So I'll be doing some sort of tutorial on that as well. So for that, subscribe my channel and share the videos as well. So let's see. Right now I'm having a lot of segments, so definitely I'm not gonna have those. It will make sure that your comp is too high, okay, or heavy. So let's say I do have that card. What I gonna do is I'll just take a scanline render here. Okay, so I'm just gonna get a scanline render, and you just take this object or scene to the scene. Okay, now when you have only one single card or one single object, you don't need really that scene if you are confident enough to put properly on areas. Okay, but if you get the scene, it's basically helping in for viewing things like together. If you are not having any scene here, it will either go for camera, either go for the card, and if you are working with one parameter here, so you will be only getting one information. So it is little easier to work with scene to get one proper view. So I'll be using that. Okay, it's up to you if you want to use it or not. If you are not using any scene, you can directly put that object or scan link to the card directly, or for me I'm just gonna have it to the scene and I'll just connect to this one to scene. Okay, so I think that is a good practice as well. If you are in a very advanced, if you are working with very advanced way, so you can just normally skip this part. Okay, so I'm gonna go for this camera, which is this one. So this will render out the card itself. Alright, and this is my scanline render. So I'm gonna put that off because it's gonna render it out as well, because if you go to the camera point here, you can see the render is in texture. So for example, if I just want to see this, you can see it is actually giving you those points here. One thing you can do is like you can disable it, or you can just make sure that render is off. Alright, so that is how you can get rid of the stuff. So by default I make sure that is disabled. Okay, so now it is not even giving you any sort of stuff, it is only giving you the alpha that you can see. Okay, there is my card. Fine. Why is that? Because the card doesn't have any image to produce. Okay, so I'll just simply take a checkerboard for now and I'll just put it here. You can put anything, you can go for a lot of shaders here. You have shaders, you can build up anything and you can directly work with that. So now what I'm gonna do, I'll just check it out, and as you can see, it is not only on alpha, it is also with RGB app. Okay, there is a BG. Yes, of course you can directly connect to the BG, but I don't do it often. So what I do is I take merge. Okay, so I'll put that to A and I'll put that to B. I find this is a good way to work. Okay, it's depend upon you. Okay, so I'll just take this one and I'm just gonna have this card and I'll put that pretty low. So here we go. Of course I can scale it properly, so I can go for R. Sorry, it's WER, so E for rotation, R for scaling. Okay, so yes, of course you can go for it as well. So I'm just gonna it's not available for below 13 version of Nuke. It is only available for the 13. Okay, and if you are using 12 or something, so you can just hold down Control to just you will be getting this gizmo of move. You can just hold down Control for toggle it to rotation, and Control and Shift for the scaling. Okay, so right now it's not showing any scaling properties, but it is there on in Nuke 12. Okay, so I'll just go for the scale. Okay, and I can just rotate this way, and even I can move it. Don't move on Z because that point having parallax movement as well, so definitely it will skid according to the parallax. Okay, so the parallax value will change if you go for the Z one. Okay, so don't go for it. You can move on Y or X, not an issue. So what I'm gonna do, I'll just scale it down a little bit more so that I can set up. Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward this process here. Okay, so as you can see, it's properly fixed here. Let me just play the video and let's just buffer it out, and let me play that for you. Okay, so as you can see, it is moving properly with the scene. Okay, so what we can do, we can provide any image, any video, whatever you want, that will be there. Okay, So this is what you can do with camera tracker, and I'll be posting another part of this particular, because it seems like it's already a long tutorial for you. Okay, so I really can't extend this one, so it will be a little boring for you. But yes, there is a little tips with particular camera tracker thing. So definitely we will talk about that in our next part, which will be part 3. So keep watching. So let me just put up the video here for you that you can understand easily. So I'm just gonna put that image here. As you can see, it is properly there. Yeah, of course a little issue that I can see. So definitely I can easily fix that out with little rotation and scaling stuff. So let me just skew it a bit. So it is a issue of skewing. Okay, you need to just fine tune the things, and that's it. That is how you can easily get a proper replacement of these things. Okay, just take a erode, not erode, edge blur node. Okay, just take edge blur, and as you can see, let me just show you to this one here. As you can see, it's a little blurry, which is good one. And make sure the filter is a Riffman, which good for for the texture. Okay, so I'll just see, you can see that the texture is coming out nicely here. Okay, you can also go for Mitchell, but it's better for Riffman as well. For the anti-aliasing part, which is the edge, okay, so I can just put it to medium, high, whatever your PC supports. As you can see, it's proper now. Okay, so if I just go back to none, as you can see, there are little chunky edges, as you can find out. If you go for high, it will be properly smooth one. Z blend is like you can go for smoother, so it will be proper with a Z depth things. Okay, that's it. Now nothing is there to go. Yeah, definitely there is some multi-sample stuff and all. It is all about the shutter speed and all. You can definitely sample it out to make sure that the motion of your card or camera which is proper. As you can see, the sample, if I just put it down, you can see it is something like this. If I just put the sample higher, you can see it's tend to make it good. Okay, as you can see, the sample values are getting up. Okay, so this is what you can get here, and it's sort of like blending together. That's it. This is how it works. With that, you can have also like should it be on center or on center or the start or the end. It's kind of like it's related to the motion of your camera, which actually give you the motion blur, which you can also go for motion blur, because you can see there are a lot of channel available here. Okay, for the motion and all. So if you go here, go to RGB channel, you can see this motion. So this is the motion channel that you are actually having. You can also go for forward channel. Okay, so when we use motion blur, we actually need that motion channel. Okay, so make sure that is there. So that's it. I'm gonna sample it out around like 20 for now, not necessarily high. Okay, that's it for today. Okay, so that's it for the part 2, and there we go. You can put glow, whatever you want actually, do a futuristic kind of stuff. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and keep watching, keep learning. Do subscribe the channel, share, comment, and share your opinion as well to me. Okay, so thank you, goodbye, wait for the next part.